episode of Dean and Gertie Explore the World.
We are the Grants. We are a family of 4, living, traveling, exploring full-time in our 2022 Puma Palomino travel trailer.
We wanted to take a moment to introduce you to who we are and why we chose this a little bit off the beaten path kind of life.
So for those of you who are just now joining us or who may have already seen us before, I'm just wondering what we're all about and why we started this full-time crazy RV lifestyle. Myself, I'm Jeff. This is my beautiful and talented wife, Monica. The star of the show,
Dean and Gertie.
Miss Gertie, Gertimus Prime, Gigi. This is Mr. Dean, the Beans, the King Bean.
Yes, the King of Beans.
Mr. Dean and Gertie, from Dean and Gertie Explore the World. So, just to kind of give you guys a little background of us and a little insight as to what kind of motivated us to take on this crazy full-time RV lifestyle, we figured we'd just kind of throw it out there for you and let you decide for yourself if you want to like us or not. Kidding. So we
were doing it. We were living in a brick and mortar home. The kids were in school. Jeff had a job. I had a job.
I did not like the school that much.
We were working. I was working Monday through Friday and picking the kids up from school and being mom and taking care of everything. And Jeff, what were you doing?
Dad was walking working at the reserve, which is up in the mountains, and we only got to see him once or twice a day. It was so long, we barely got to see him at nighttime.
A couple times a month. Well, just to kind of back up a little bit, we're from Central Illinois. My wife and I both met in Champaign, Illinois, Champaign-Urbana. For those of you who are or may be familiar with that area, that's the home of the University of Illinois. The two of us worked and lived there for many, many, many years.
Like 1 year?
We owned businesses there. We worked our proverbial butts off. We worked we had an event center that we managed and operated. We ran a successful food and music festival for the city of Champaign for several years. But it basically came down to we had an opportunity to leave the Champaign area, and which then took us to America?
Greenville, South Carolina.
Greenville, South Carolina. That is right.
But now we're in Tennessee.
Well, today we're in Tennessee.
Yeah, today.
Don't give away all our secrets.
But maybe not tomorrow.
Maybe not tomorrow, that's right.
Maybe not next year.
Okay, so Monica and I both transferred. I guess we really didn't transfer. We just moved to Greenville, South Carolina. We absolutely fell in love with the place. Her and I went down there. We visited a couple of times for a job interview that she had. Fell in love with the Greenville area. Decided that was where we wanted to be. So we picked up and relocated the family.
Yeah. It was quite an amazing journey. Spent about 5 years there. And, got established to the point to where we wanted to buy a house. By that time, housing, as we all know, has gone a little bit crazy. To purchase a house, you have to have
$500.
so much.
Like
if you can pay cash for it, you can probably get it, but you got to have about $1 million.
Yes.
And it was rough and it was a hard life. And, it really made us take a look at everything that we were doing and ask, is that what we wanted to do? And when it came down to it, it wasn't what was really making us happy.
No, for sure. And, we just had to, you see Monica waving over here. She's always waving to you. We're sitting in the middle of Meriwether Lewis Park in Natchez, Tennessee. And I'm telling you, the bugs are a little brutal here, aren't they? So we're all like, oh, get away from us. So anyways, we really had to kind of sit down and reevaluate our priorities as to what we wanted to do. I myself, I was working in the event industry, and I was putting in 60, 70 hours plus a week. I was working 6 days a week, weekends. There were months that I saw the kids maybe 2 or 3 times a month. Many days I would wake up and go to work before they woke up and had to get ready to go to school. And then by the time I got home,
we were already in bed.
They were already in bed.
We woke up. We didn't like it. We woke up and we were saying where's Dad, and we were in tears the whole day. Most of the days we were in tears. Why doesn't this have to be this way?
Yeah.
Why does life have to be this way?
Well, we were living the quote unquote the American dream. We had the condo, we had the HOA, we had the 2 cars and the 4-bedroom house and all of the things, but that meant that I was working
500 days.
500 days. Mm-hmm. 500 days a week, right? And so Monica and I kind of sat down and we talked about what we wanted to do and reevaluated our priorities, and we kind of decided that our number one priority was our family, and we wanted to try to make the best of what we had, but also give our kids a real world experience.
No, we used to live in one house. One house with 2 cars, the American dream. And then we got inspired by all this RV and cool stuff. So my dad did. So but it took Dad. Our dad 2 was inspired by this RV stuff and looking and doing all this stuff that Mom. Yeah. He was talking to my mom about it. Monica right here. And we did it. And we're living the American dream. Traveling the world, saying cool things, making new friends, doing everything else. It took my dad about maybe 2 years to get Mom when the house got overpriced. Yeah, Mom was like, fine, yeah, we can do it.
Is that how it was, Monty?
Yes.
Pretty much.
He didn't really want to. He never wanted it.
Their reality is the only reality.
He wanted to be normal people. Normal people. And we probably can't do this and that. And we probably can't do this. We're not fit for it. Yeah, and we do have some.
So Monty and I had many conversations, and we had kind of a coming together of the minds, and it did take me a little bit to convince her. What were your drawbacks?
I think it's the typical comments that the people throw at us about this lifestyle are all the negatives and all the reasons why I was afraid to take that plunge. Taking the kids out of school and homeschooling, that is a huge step and something that I didn't ever think that we would do. However, we found a great program that works for our kids. It's structured and it allows them to, if they stay in this program through high school, they will actually end up with a diploma from South Carolina, which was a huge selling point to me because I definitely wanted my kids to get a good education. The other cons that I had always kind of held on to was that moving into an RV and leaving behind the brick and mortar leaves behind that anchor, that stability that had been ingrained within me, that's what you do. You grow up, you get married, you have kids, you buy a house, you put roots down, you stay there. That's what you do. And I was hesitant to let go of that. I was hesitant to jump out there and not have that home safety net. Living in an RV has its own set of challenges. You're living in a very confined space. So, what are you going to do without your stuff? Are we going to be able to handle that? Is that going to drive us over the edge? Are we going to just climb the walls to get away from each other? All of that were definitely things that I was definitely like, we need to pump the brakes on. But when it came right down to it, and it was either move into an apartment that was smaller to try to save money so Jeff didn't have to work as much, or move into an RV that was on wheels and allowed us to go and travel and see things, it was either way was going to be uncomfortable. And I think for me, the tipping point to that was the time that we spend working to make someone else money is time that we take away from the things that we think are important. Or that was my realization. We were both working for someone else to make them money and missing out on all the stuff with our family, like the kids' birthdays, holidays, everything. And so, when you think about that on a grand scale, the smaller living conditions don't matter. It just didn't matter anymore.
All in all, it took me pretty much
2 years.
Like 2 years. Not so much to convince her, but once her and I came to the realization that the RV lifestyle was something that we were super interested in, we started plotting and planning, and that whole time frame for us, we really sat back and kind of digested each piece individually and tried to figure out what do we need to do to make this happen. And ultimately, it was me finding something that was remote and not working as many hours. She was already at that point switching to remote work. And so that opened us up pretty freely. Gertie was homeschooled for the first couple of years, or at least 1 year prior. So she had a little bit of experience with that. But making sure that we both had remote jobs that would suffice our style. We didn't want to just live in an RV and be stationary. We said, hey, if we're going to do this RV lifestyle, we want to be able to move and travel and explore and take these kids to all these amazing places and check out all these really cool historical locations and give them a proper education on the road. And so for us, it was making sure that we kind of set ourselves up for that and finding jobs that worked. We also knew that we wanted to have insurance. So Monty's job, fortunately, had that. So that gave us a little bit of freedom and flexibility to be able to kind of, waver a little bit on what I had, just because, that was one thing that we didn't have to worry about. And so as we kind of ticked off all of those pieces of this giant puzzle to get us out on the road, it was still a considerable amount of time. And then, it started the RV search and all of those other things, which, we'll get into in some later episodes as we go. But for the most part, that's kind of where we settled and what kind of motivated us to get on the road. But it was a very time-consuming process for us, and I wish we could say that it was easy and we just jumped right in and we did it. But we are planners, and
plan the stuff, then we do the stuff.
Well, we used to be the dreamers, and we would think about all the things that we wanted to do, but just never had the time to do them because we were busy working. And then we became the planners of figuring out how to make it work and what's that going to look like and how are we going to be able to take care of these two and be responsible parents and make sure that we set them up to succeed when they get older, because that's super important to us. And for anybody watching that thinks that they are not our central focus, you're crazy, because we don't do anything without making sure it's what's right for them.
No,
But now we're the plotters and the planners and the doers. Now we get to actually go and do. I mean, when you have kids, when you're even single, it's almost impossible to travel. Traveling is so expensive. Life is so expensive these days. So now we have the opportunity to take the kids and let them learn hands-on what the history of our country is, and the beauty of the country, and the people that live in it, and the wonders that we have encountered in this short period of time already have made it beyond worth all of the ups and downs and the struggles. And, there are going to be struggles. There are every day. Our kids don't like school, even though they do it from their house. Just like your kids don't like school when they do it from their house, or they have to get up and go to the brick and mortar. So our life is not any different than anyone else's life, other than the fact that our house is on wheels and we use them.
Yeah. I mean, at this point, we've been on the road for almost a year and a half. We're kind of moving through the processes. We've seen some amazing things, and we can't wait to share them with you. But we wanted to kind of preface our YouTube series, or our YouTube channel, as things grow or continue to grow, hopefully, with a little bit of an introduction to us. Maybe put some pieces of the puzzle together for yourself, is if you're maybe thinking about it. Hopefully we can inspire someone else to do, take the plunge, as they say.
And if you're not, that's fine. You don't have to live this life. If we entertain you, cool. Then I'll take it, because that little bit of joy that you get from watching my kids be silly, live it up, because that's what we're about. Living, loving, and having a good time, because life's too dang short.
No, and that's exactly right. I mean, life is short, and we've seen that firsthand, and we've experienced it firsthand. And, full disclosure, I'm old and I've got young kids. And so, that was another big part of it is, we sat back and we were like, hey, look, it's either I can work these 60, 70-hour weeks, sometimes 20-hour days, which were just brutal, and only have vacations in my industry. The vacation was during December. And so unfortunately, when I could take my 2-week vacation, middle of December, end of December, we're not doing Disney. We're not doing Universal. It just wasn't conducive to what Monty and I really wanted to have as for our kids and for us as in a happy lifestyle. Again, we had all of the things. We had the house, the 2 cars. We're living in an HOA that did our lawn care for us, and all of those things. Or not a house, but we lived in a townhouse. So, we had all of those things, but it just wasn't what we wanted.
Our old house didn't have wheels. Our new house had wheels, so we have to use the new wheels. The house with wheels, we thought we would go back to a house with no wheels.
You're going to go back to a house with no wheels again?
I don't really want to, but it's up to you. Why would you ever want to do that? It's up to Mom and Dad. I don't know, man. You find a house you're in love with, I'm sure. You can sell your RV or keep your RV and put it in your backyard. Summer vacation, RV, winter vacation, in the house. Winter vacation in the house. Things to jumping in the snow and jumping in the freezing cold water with your pillow.
Yeah.
What's amazing too is you just saw me wave at one of the rangers that went by, and it seems like no matter where we go, our kids make friends, whether it's the rangers that they get to interact with or the kids at the different campgrounds. So we really did make an amazing discovery that this lifestyle, a lot of the negatives or the things that I thought were negatives or the concerns that I had were really just constraints that I had built up within myself as to why we shouldn't or couldn't do this. And it's amazing how many times I have been proven wrong, and I'm actually grateful for that. So, you live and you learn. That's why we do this. is just to have fun.
Well, hopefully that gives you a little bit of insight to who we are and why we're doing what we do. And I think we're having fun so far. Short period of time, but I don't foresee us getting off the road anytime soon. So I guess from here, we're going to say thank you for tuning in.
I think you should smash that subscribe button, hit the thumbs up, and hit the bell. Smash that like button. Punch it in the face. That's what you should do. Button, subscribe, and ring the bell if you're an awesome fan. And don't forget, go check out links in the description.
And also, the most important thing is never stop exploring.
Absolutely. It's kind of our motto.
Never stop exploring.
Never stop exploring,
and
right?
Never stop dancing.
Never stop dancing. That's Gertie's motto. Never stop dancing. Or explore to dance more.
That's a true one.
All right.
Yeah.
All right. Again, thank you all. Hopefully you learned a little bit about the grants, and hopefully you'll stay tuned for future episodes.
Hope you guys enjoy this video. Yeah.
As Dean said, smash that subscribe button. Gertie says, punch the bell in the face.
Yeah.
Thanks, y'all.
But just don't break Don't take the advice that you're watching on and actually punch it. Just click it.
Just click it.
Don't say like, oh.
Yeah. Because we need you to watch the next episode.
Yeah. We need you to. Part 2 is coming soon. Bye.
Bye.
Enjoy the rest of your day or night. I don't know.